Shalom. First off, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Kakodash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, the real will and teach well, and salutations to the hopeful elect that's out there pushing his truth in all honesty and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. Shalom. This is the brother Rumla coming at you with a quick video. Through the spirit, power, mercy of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Lord willingness be edifying. So I want to speak on this term grifter, mainly going on or going around on the YouTube, all right, mainly referring to Jake, basically they're subjecting or speaking on certain things that are contrary, all right, to the so-called black community, all right, basically, Jake in the world. All right, and they taking these side or these standing points, all right, just for clickbait. We got something in this new generation called rage bait, all right, or to get traffic on their channel, comments, stir the pot, because that equals views and money to these people. So they got the term grifter, all right, which ultimately they're using it out of context. Because the grifter, the definition says a person who engages in petty or small scale swindling. All right. And swindling ultimately is you finessing someone out of money. All right. Whether being a scammer, finesser. All right. All right. So right here, the swindler definition. Say a person who used deception to deprive someone of money and possessions. All right, similar words: fraudster, fraud, confidence, trickster. All right, a cheat, trickster, pretender, a charlatan, hoaxer. All right, a shark, a con artist, hustler, phony. All right, they might present them certain characteristics. But, a lot of these people, they just selling themselves out, all right, for financial gain, all right, whether to please Esau, whatever the case may be. That's why people revert to being a grifter, whether they take up for the MAGA side, the Republican side, for like racist white people, all right, they speak down on their own people just to feel accepted for the other side. But then when they realize the other side don't accept them, then when they want to come back with their tail tucked behind their legs, or, or try to act like they ain't never said certain shit that pissed a lot of Jake off. All right, whether it be, what some of it is kind of justified in a degree when it comes to like how they do our heroes, the so-called African-American heroes, like Marvel, certain things, certain video games, or the DEI, certain things, will make it valid to what they talk about, but they just go overboard when they realize that it garnered them a certain attention. All right, it boosts them to take them to the next level, and that's where the spiritual swindling come into play. All right, so they're not doing it like someone that's trying to get over on you in a way like, a snake oil salesman, but it's like in the form of they cater to your emotions. They try to target certain people emotionally or certain things that they have a gripe with that's going on throughout society, whether it's in politics, entertainment, or, classism or racism, or those different things, or they try to cater to certain sides. All right. And a lot of these people want to be accepted, all right, by the white audience or by, white people in general. All right. So this is the main thing that they do, what it says in the scriptures. All right. Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 33. All right. And it reads, why trimmest thou thy way to seek love? Therefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways. All right. But, ultimately in this day and age, Our people, it's like they father the devil. They learned ways from Esau. So, they trimmers their ways for Esau. All right. They try to play the victim. They act like, they're righteous in their views, but they're trimming their ways to seek love, validation or, acceptance. They're trimming their ways. They know that it's wrong in what they saying, but they'll stand 10 toes on it or die on their heels, so to say, for the fact of getting views or getting love from one side. All right. But once they reach that height of that side, then they want to turn back to their people. Just like rappers, they sell their people out, but then they want to come back to the very people that got them on. All right, say like the very people that put that took a liking to their music and got them popular. Then they'll get to a certain level. Then they want to come against. All right, there are people talk down on them. Say like Young Thug, how he talked down on poor people. One thing he said, that poor people shouldn't have babies and stuff like this. But he had babies when he was poor, so-called. So, they just show themselves to be hypocrites, man. That's always what they are. That's what the term of the modern day grifter. They just hypocrites, and they just picking one-sided arguments and running with it. All right, ultimately for views and likes, man. All right, for money, because how the revenue work on these certain channels. All right, certain amount of views, you can get money. All right, so it says, why trimmest thou way to seek love? Therefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways. All right, so, hey, people coming like they father the devil, taking on characteristics of Esau. Verse 34, also in thy skirts is found the blood of the souls of the poor innocents. I have not found it by secret search, but upon all these. All right. So, they prey on the poor and the innocent. Basically the poor and the innocent, always the butt of the joke. All right. Always been like that. They try to get over on the poor, like the churches or certain spiritual advisors or leaders on this side. They mainly use the poor for their money. All right. They don't have the best interest for them. All right. So let me look over the scripture real quick. All right. So this is John chapter 8, verse 44. And it says, ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. So Esau is a father of lies. I mean, he's a liar. He's always speaking lies, and a lot of our people, all right, take hold of the ways of Esau. They speaking lies. Just like this one guy, I just recently heard about him, but he was on that side of the fence with MAGA and all them Trump supporters, but he heard them say or be racist. All right, I forgot what he said. Was it whoever on their side, said something he didn't agree with. So that's when he wanted to turn back to his people. But yeah, they lying about the whole black on black crime. How a lot of race on race violence is through proximity. All right, in impoverished places where crime obviously is high, because, you got poor whites, poor blacks, and a lot of those areas be drug infested. So them using that talking point is not valid, man, because, you have whites on whites, whites killing whites and blacks killing blacks. There's something through proximity of one another. All right. So the guy, came out and spoke on that, and he was an ex-police officer. So he'd been knowing that for years. But as soon as he heard something he didn't agree with, that's when he switched up and trying to switch back to his people's side when he was on Esau side the whole time. So that shows them that they're liars, fathers of it. like they father the devil. They are of their father the devil. All right. They want to kiss master ass, man. All right. So, Esau was a murderer, a liar from the beginning. So a lot of our people took on those ways where they become untrustworthy. Look at Stephen A. Smith. And it's a lot of people, I can go on, that kissed Esau ass. Apostle Ramlod say, they be licking Esau ass, basically, Northern Kingdom. Well, Southern Kingdom too, man, they trim their ways to seek love, mainly from Esau and from the world. That's ultimately from Esau, because this is Esau's kingdom. All right. So, yeah, so the term grifter, is taken out of context, but I can see how, in a spiritual sense, you can kind of see where they're going with it. But that's how it is in this day and age, man. They'll take words in this new generation and put new spins and new meanings on it, man. All right, so people, they don't gotta swindle you face to face anymore. They can do it off by catering to your emotions and, off your getting your time and attention. All right, to sit and watch their video, or the case may be. Things are getting more slick and snaky out here. It's more deceitful ways to do certain things. And a lot of our people learned this from Esau. Esau been using this tactic for years. All right. So let me get Matthew chapter 6, verse 24. All right. It says, no man can serve two masters, or no man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve the Most High and mammon. Can't serve riches, money, wealth. You can't, worship that will, serve that. You can't have your sights on being just about that, because you'll lose your morals and your integrity. You'll lose yourself, so to say. All right, because the verse above that says, but if thine eye be evil, thy whole body shall be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great is that darkness? So if you do things for nefarious reasons, your whole body and your whole countenance, everything going, exuberate, exude, however you say that word. All right, it's going to manifest on you. All right, and you're going to be looked to be an untrustworthy person. All right, just like this dude, Anton Daniels, he'll be classified as one of the biggest grifters, going by the new gen, using this word. He'll be considered one of the biggest grifters because he came from nothing. But here he came into some money, which he was smart in doing it. When his father died, he came to some money and he invested it. All right. He was smart with it, but he got on a level in a certain class or tax bracket, or whatever kids want to call it. And he been showing his ass ever since, just acting like he just that dude and he just talks shit about his own people, where, he really don't have to do that, man. But he doing that because, he's on that side, man, on that MAGA side. But soon, even if he don't realize how they are, he already know. But if he stay on that side, he's still going to be destroyed. He going to be destroyed right along with this place. All right, so that's why he can't serve two masters, man. And he try to act super religious and faithful, talking about he read the Bible so many times, but he still don't understand what a lot of it is talking about. So he just a lost individual, but he just grifting hard. All right, and he came against the man of the Lord, calling brothers dusty and stuff, but he acknowledged that, bro's on point with the scriptures, but, he still have that pride. But it's going to come to a halt when his place go down and he going to lose that money. All right. What is this? I don't know why this junk. Yeah, my phone speaking and stuff, like the AI. But anyway, it kind of threw me off. But yeah, like this dude, Anton Daniels, man, he'll be considered one of the biggest grifters. All right. You know, he speak on against black people just to please that side. All right. All right. To please that side, you know. And you got a lot of Jake that eat that shit up, man. You know, you got Jake on the comment board. They clearly probably one of them people that he's talking about, and they'll still eat it up. Especially when they talk about women. All right, when they get on women, it could be a Jake. He don't even get women like that, or he just got, a lot to say on the comment board, but he's, you got a bunch of hypocrites out there, they'll agree just because they've been hurt. You do got people like that, a lot of times women and certain men on that side, from red pill, the case may be, they'll use them feminine, them female talking points, or somebody hurt you, or, are you playing victim? What do be some people like that? All right, but they'll use that to justify the reason why they go so hard on what they do, because that small minority, all right, that's in that mindset. All right, but in all, man, they just swindling people emotions. All right, just to get that engagement on their channel. All right, to go up a level, because controversy sell, I'm not gonna lie, but you can ruin your digital proof, or your digital footprint and your character. You could put out, even if you're not like that, but that's why it's important how you present yourself in everyday life and on the internet. All right, because people can get an idea of who and how you are, and they'll judge you and use that against you. All right, so you say certain shit on the internet, you can't say, oh, that's a character. All right, like this nigga Charleston White, oh, I'm playing a character, but soon come to a point like, you actually feel that way. Or you can't be a character 24/7, like with the streaming stuff. You can't be a character 24/7. Your true character gonna be revealed at some point. Even if you is putting on a facade and being a character, people gonna take that as who you really are, man. All right, so all this grifting and trying to cater to certain sides, the Lord gonna make it to where you have to pick a side soon. All right, you gonna have to reveal who you are sooner or later. All right. Lord willing, when this internet gets shut down to certain things, when the new transference of this system, this digital system, going to reveal a lot of people. All right. Scripture say, love of many shall wax cold. All right. So it's going to be known who you serve. You serving mammon, serving riches, or you going to serve the Lord. All right. That's going to be seen if you take this charagma. All right. You be like, oh, yeah, you don't want to lose your lifestyle, lose certain things, lose certain perks. So a lot of them people going to take the charagma, man. So, you can't keep trimming your ways to seek love, because soon it's going to run out. And then the Lord going to humble you. It happens every time. The Lord always humble people that get too prideful, mainly Jake. All right. But he going to humble Esau. Esau, the main one that need to get humbled. That's why the curse is about to fall upon him. But the Lord always humble Jake, like this Floyd Mayweather thing. The Lord going to humble his ass, going to show that these tiny tops don't fuck with him like that. Are y'all going to learn, man? These tiny tops don't fuck with us because they know that we are the true Israelites, the true, Jews, Israelites of the Bible. What's Jew is just a short derivative term of Judah, all right? A short way of saying Judah, all right? What's Judah is the head tribe of Israel, all right, of the southern kingdom, all right? So, time, all right, speeding up the Lord, shorten the days for the elect say these days flying, this year almost out. All right, we're going to 2026, and soon that you're going to fly, Lord willing. We be out of here by then. All right, the kingdom is nigh at hand. So, hey, man, but we got to be wary of these people and discern them. All right, because soon they're going to come to the side, just like the red pill. All right, they know of certain scriptures and certain things. All right, they heard the truth from Great Millstone on down. All right, and they take certain talking points. All right, but now they grifting or switching up to the political space, or, certain areas, speaking on other topics. A lot of times they don't just speak on women anymore. But soon they're going to have to acknowledge that, the ones that have the truth is the men of the Lord. And we speak on every topic under the sun and, filter it, and filter it through the scriptures, bring out scriptures that speaks on certain topics. All right. And it came from the men of the Lord, starting with our apostles and elders on down. And the world, also seen, all right, too, as well, because the spirit of truth, or it came from the men that came before us, you know, our forefathers. All right, Abba Bivens, when he came on the scene over here, all right, turned the hearts back to the Father. So, you know, these people, you know, Jake see it, man. That's why, you know, the Drewski thing, hey, man, the Lord is about to give us fame, and the land was put to shame. And the fame ain't going to come by through riches. It's going to come by, you know, knowing that, hey, these guys, you know, they've been telling us the truth the whole time, and they really the ones that need to be in power. All right, because Scripture say, like, the heathens going to see that this is a wise and understanding people. So we have that true wisdom. All right. So I don't want to make it too long, be too long-winded, but I feel like I got everything out that I wanted to say through the Spirit. All right. With that being said, Shalom.